The market is definitely favoring buyers now, and I would say that it's more balanced than it has been since 2013, I'm going to say, and I'll show you where I get that from here in a minute. So while the market's certainly favoring buyers right now, even with the higher interest rates, it is balanced. So if you're a seller, it's still a great opportunity to get your home on the market, get it sold fast and for top dollar. Hi, I'm Sam Wilson with the Sam Wilson Home Selling Team, and I'm bringing you the January 2023 market update for the Denver Metro residential real estate market. And this is a lot of the same we've been seeing, but I dove further into it this month to give you a little bigger picture of what's actually happening and the trends. And I'm going to go all the way back to 2013 in a couple of the charts here. So the first thing is to take a look at the now. And the now says there's more homes for sale, less of them are selling, and prices are coming down a bit, which is causing a longer time period for homes to get from on market to sold. So these are the things favoring buyers. However, you can see the prices aren't changing extremely on a month to month basis. I'll show you some long-term trends here in a moment, but this says that it's more balanced. Sellers don't have to take a huge hit on price. Just know your comps, know your neighborhood, get a really good analysis on pricing and price right coming out of the gate so you don't have to take too many price reductions. Here's an interesting fact that's not on this chart, but almost 60% of all of these homes that actually closed, so almost 60% of these 2,700 homes that closed in December had price reductions before they went under contract. Now, the ones that haven't sold yet are having more price reductions. So what that's saying is we've got to price right when we start, and then the sky is not falling. These price reductions from month over month or year over year are not alarming. And I'll even show you the longer term trend so you can see what I mean there too, to look at more of the bigger picture in a moment. So as always, this entire report from the Denver Metro Association of Realtors and the MLS is available in a link here in my blog. So feel free to dive in if you like the details and the numbers. It's all here for you. I'm just summarizing. So this certainly shows favoring buyers. There's no question. But it's also showing that sellers don't have to give it away. They don't have to worry about any significant price drops. They just need to price right coming out of or coming into the listing right out of the chute. So this month's offer, before I get into the bigger picture, is a consultation. It's always free. There's never any obligation. There's no sales pitch. Leave your checkbook at home. There's no pressure to list or buy right now. I just want to be able to give you the facts, give you the analytics, and help you make the best decisions, whether you're a buyer or seller. And by the way, if you're thinking about doing both, like downsizing or upsizing, there may not be a better time than coming in the next 3 to 4 months. And I'll show you that here too. So really just trying to demonstrate what's happening in the market and be your resource for really good decision making. All right. By the way, I can do a much deeper dive for your particular home in your specific neighborhood. So call on me for it. It's free. All right. Let's go to one of my favorite charts I do on every one of these. Hopefully this will jump right there. Okay, so I did some pre-analytics here for you because I wanted to demonstrate the point. I'm going to start to talk about why this isn't 2008, why there's no bubble, why there's no crash coming. I firmly believe it. Hey, um, yesterday's history, tomorrow's a mystery, right? But I'm using numbers, analytics, and trends to show you why I think this. So if you look back here, this was January of 2021. So you can 2022, excuse me, and you can see that right here. So just to keep the chart on the screen, These were the lowest price points we've seen in the last 13 months. So January of 2022, we were at the lowest point, and look at this extreme run up. We were at run rates anywhere from 15 to 25%. That gave us an average of almost 20% in just 3 months. From January to April, from the end of January to April, it was almost a 20% run up. That is unprecedented. You probably will never see that again. And that's when there were bidding wars. Prices were jumping up and leapfrogging versus other recent sales in the neighborhood. And it was unreasonable. In the literal sense of that word, it was unreasonable. It was just a buyer frenzy to get in on really cheap interest rates to get a house, and lenders wouldn't even finance these properties at full offer prices, full asking prices. They were using appraisers to make sure that they were protected on the home values. That's why people were paying appraisal gaps. You may remember that term, which meant if it appraised for X, but you were paying Y, you had to bring the differential to closing out of your pocket, cash money. And you were probably buying those homes with no inspection either, so you weren't getting sellers to make repairs. Well, that's all different now. I've talked about that in recent blogs. I don't want to rehash it, but just to say in summary, now buyers have more control, and it's favoring buyers to do the right thing when purchasing. But the real purpose of this chart is to show you that over the last 8 months, we're only down 12%. This would indicate that there's no bubble, there's no crash, there's no crashing. And this is with extremely higher interest rates. Interest rates are double what they were during the frenzy. So this alone as a visual can tell you that we are not going to see an extreme price decrease, which is good for sellers. You have to be, you have to be on top of your market as a seller, but as a buyer, please, please do not wait for the crash or the bubble to burst. It just isn't there. And this following chart will help me demonstrate that even further. Um, let me let me get to this one again. I analyzed it to make a very simple analysis that shows the inventory coming out of the crash. Well, we can even look at the inventory that caused the crash, which was back in 2008. This is the beginning of 2008. Look at how extreme the inventory was and how low the purchases were. But here's the thing, the purchase line hasn't really changed much. That's your blue line. Well, the inventory adjusted after the crash, and it's flat, essentially. It's essentially flat. So this would indicate that there's no bubble. This is what a bubble looks like. Extreme inventory with low purchases. Right now, since 2013, by the way, this is coming out of 2012 when things got back to, I'll say normal, but coming out of the crash all the way to January 2013. Look at this. This is why it's not why. There's no bubble. So there can't be a crash, because there's only 1% of the entire housing stock available for sale. So we're not going to see this again. This gap, it just can't exist. It's not there. So if you're a buyer waiting for a bubble, you're waiting for a crash, it's up to you. You can continue to wait, or you can be reasonable and actually look at what's happening. If you're a seller, you don't have to fear a tremendous price reduction, but you do have to be reasonable and understand that we are on a downward trend. It's just not extreme. So for sellers, if you get really good analytics, if you price right coming out of the chute, You will get offers. You may have to negotiate a little. You should expect to have inspection issues that you're going to have to resolve. But you're also going to be able to expect a reasonable appraisal. And that's a good sort of intersection for buyers where you will be able to pay the appraised price and not have to pay more than that value. Also, for buyers, you're going to be able to negotiate a little bit, but we're talking about win-win. Sellers should sell a home to you that's safe and in good condition, and buyers should expect to get it that way. As opposed to last year, first quarter, you were buying whatever you could, whenever you could, in whatever condition the seller wanted to give it to you in. So that's why I say, back to the beginning of the video, that it is more balanced right now, and it should be a win-win transaction, or you should possibly move on to another one. If you're a seller, there's more buyers. If you're a buyer, there's more homes to choose from. So I'm Sam Wilson with the Sam Wilson Home Selling Team, just trying to bring you what's really happening, good advice, and facilitate some good conversations. It's always free. There's never any obligation. There's no pressure to buy or sell a home. I just want to help you make the best decisions. Call, click, text, or email me. Hope you enjoy my blogs and my videos. Leave me some feedback too. Let me know what you think. Let's start a conversation. Have a great day.